Hey y'all, what's up? This is your boy. Oh crap!
What?
So we so we just figured out our little soundboard. So every time I do something stupid, we don't have to like throw that sound in. So anyway, what's up, y'all? This your boy Dre,
And this is your boy Will.
and welcome to yet another edition of
Where there's a Will,
There's a Dre.
I like this.
We were just like a little kid over here.
I'm
Man.
getting so excited. So much potential.
All right, y'all. So this is our first cast, our first pod using our sort of new equipment. Now we're still recording from my man cave, which I know William hates because it's all decked out in U of M stuff. So when we get official studio, then hopefully it'll be right. But in the meantime, this is our first pod in a minute. We haven't done this in a second, Will.
Yeah, we haven't done a pod in a while. And then a pod being in person
Yeah, right.
in a while, yeah.
All that Zoom mess, but
Yeah.
So now I can like.
No! No, I like it.
So, all right, y'all. So, last we left off, we were discussing the NBA Finals, and since then, the NBA has crowned a new NBA champion. So, shout out to the OKC Thunder. You're gonna just wear that out.
Yeah, well, yeah. You guys gonna hear it this pod. You guys gonna hear it. All those times where I was doing woo, we finally got something that we can do it now. Yeah, yeah.
I can't give black folks nothing.
Oh man.
All right, and so in addition to, and so we're going to do a quick recap of the NBA Finals, but in addition to that, we're going to go over the results of our contest. Now, y'all suck. Y'all are supposed to engage in this contest because we were trying to give away a jersey. So,
A free jersey.
right, and so unfortunately, and this is because we are a new channel and we're still growing, and hopefully will be developed soon. Which leads me to my first point before we get into anything. Before we do anything else, please be sure to like and subscribe. Come join us, man. We love to have that engagement. And click that notification button so each time we drop a new video, you'll be the first one to know about it.
Yep. Like I said, like Cole said, make sure you like and subscribe and make sure you share on all platforms: Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, X, whatever it's called. Because there's a lot of more content coming on the way, and NFL season's about to start, and college. You're gonna love when we get into Michigan State rivalry games. So it's gonna be very fun. So make sure you guys tune in and subscribe. Seriously.
No doubt. And like I was saying, so unfortunately, because we don't have any subscribers yet, or have you following yet, we didn't have a chance to crown a winner, but we will still go over the results. And so, just as a quick reminder of how our little game worked, so we Will and I went through each series all throughout the playoffs to make our predictions on who would win and the number of games it would take for that series to conclude. And we gave ourselves 5 points for every winner that we predicted, and then deducted a point for every game we were off by. And at last count, prior to going into the NBA Finals, William was up 29 to 21, and then after everything was over and done with, and we tallied up our scores after the finals, I regretfully informed everybody that William won.
Yeah.
33-24.
Woo! That's what I'm talking about.
So yeah, it was a bloodbath, bro, and
Yeah.
William just destroyed me. So I guess William is better at this whole NBA analysis thing than I am because
No.
he killed me.
No, honestly, guys, I was just guessing, but it was really, really fun. I honestly can't wait to do it next year. It was a really good idea.
It was hot, and so hopefully by that time we'll have a little bit of an audience, and we want you to take part because we're gonna probably be up in the ante again next year. So so please join us.
Yeah.
But now that we got the contest out of the way, let's get into a quick discussion about the finals itself.
Right.
So William, you got any thoughts?
This series was it was very different than what I thought. I'm sure actually everyone thought. Unless you're Pacers fans, I thought it was going to be like the Pacers were going to try have a little bit of fight, but the Thunder were going to just eventually just take over and win in like 5. That's why I had my pick as that. But it surprised me. It went all the way to a game 7.
Yeah.
In the finals. Do you know the last time we had a game 7 in the finals?
Lakers
20,
Celtics.
nope, 2016.
Oh, word.
Golden State Warriors versus the Cleveland
The Cavs,
Cavaliers.
right.
Yeah. So we having a game 7, it didn't, we'll get to that in a minute, but it didn't give up to the hype, but I was so excited the whole time. But I got to give it to these Thunder. They're a really, really great team. And crown a champion with the small market. It's being the small market. It's really good to see the parade and those fans really finally get one for their franchise. So yeah, that's all my thoughts on it. I definitely was shocked at the Pacers fight, but yeah, that's my thoughts, man.
Yeah, and in that same vein, man, like shout out to the Pacers too.
Yeah,
because
shout out to the Pacers.
They
Yeah.
played like they were just possessed through the whole playoff series,
Mhm.
and I don't think anybody really gave them too much of a fighting chance to like
Yeah.
even get to that point, let alone compete in the NBA Finals. And bro, I got to tell you, man, excuse me, I'm not a huge Pacers fan because I'm a diehard Piston fan, and
Neither,
no
yeah.
respecting Piston fan will ever be down with the Pacers, the Bulls, or the Bucks.
Nope.
However, I was really impressed by their gumption, and then my heart felt for him too, man. When
Yeah.
Hallie went down, and I know that he would have, gave all of his limbs to be out there with his teammates, and
He started off hot too.
Yeah.
He shot a couple threes and
three,
he
3 for 3 or 3
yeah,
for
3
4?
for 3 almost. Yeah, and he had like, I think, what was it, like 6 points or 9 points in a couple minutes, like in a couple minutes. He was going crazy. And when it happened, I yelled. And my wife was like, "What's going on?" Because she's only used to me yelling with the Warriors. But I was so angry because, like Uncle said, I really felt for Tyrese Halliburton because you worked to get to this moment, especially hearing all the doubters saying you're overrated, and you're just like, I want to have a chance. It's 0-0. Let me try to win this game for my team. And I think they might have were going to be able to win it. But yeah, I feel bad for those Pacers fans and even Tyrese. But they're young. You never know what happens.
Well, and it was dope too because even after Tyrese went down, the first half was still straight. I mean,
Yeah.
they kept it competitive for
Yeah.
a minute, but then over time, the Thunder just proved
Yeah.
why that they were consistently the best team in the league throughout the whole season. But
Did you feel though when he did go down that it was kind of like we're just trying to survive? There was no thought of like we can win this game. We're just like trying to survive, almost like we're waiting on him to come back.
Yep.
We're just trying to keep the lead up. That's what it felt like to me.
yeah, because I don't think they knew at the time that it was an ACL. I think
Mhm.
they thought at the time he was just he just re-aggravated his the strain that he had,
Yeah,
and then maybe he could come back in the second half, put on some kind of heroic performance or whatever. But then when they got the prognosis later on, I think they were just like, yeah, we're done.
yeah.
But they fought, and I'll give them credit. And even though they wound up winning by 16, I think the game was a lot closer than the score indicated for a while.
Yeah.
Until again, the Thunder just did their thing.
It was the third quarter, man. It was the third quarter. I told
Yeah.
my wife, I was like, yeah, if they did a good job doing the first half, they did a really, really good job in the first half, but that third quarter, man, I don't know what happened. I don't know what Rick Carlisle was doing because there was a point in time where I don't know if you watched in the third quarter. I think his name T.J. McCollum, their backup PG. He was like going off, but like all the rest of the Pacers players weren't really doing anything, and Rick Carlisle sat Pascal and I think Nimhart for like, I don't know. It felt like it was 10 minutes. It felt like it was a whole game. And they came back like in the fourth quarter, and I was like, there was a point when, because they, the Thunder went on their avalanche after a while because I knew it was going to happen. There was a point in the game where TJ, he cut it to like 4 or 6 in the third quarter. And we were just waiting for the team or Rick Carlisle to put his heavy guns back in with Pascal and Nimhart, but he never eventually did. So I don't know what was that, but yeah, I feel like the third quarter is where they really like lost the rail.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really angry about that. I was like, ugh, fire Rick Carlisle. I'm just playing. Pacers fans gonna kill me. Let me stop.
I mean, right now, given all the coaching carousel. Oh, speaking of which, side note, did you hear that the Knicks are bringing on Mike Brown now?
Oh yeah, I did see that.
So I was thinking, you brought that up. I was thinking about like the Knicks coaching issues.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's a side note, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah. We'll get into it, Andre. We'll get into it. Yeah.
So, all right. So, let me ask you this, Will. So, where do you think this Thunder team ranks as far as all-time great NBA champions go?
Ooh. Oh man, this is a good one. This is a good question. Because
See, we ain't had this one written down, so
we didn't. We didn't. He actually surprised me. Man, I would say because I don't want to discredit the Pacers because I think that all of us, all of the NBA fans, kind of discredit them. Like we all said, it was like black magic what they were doing. So I want to give credit to that team because I don't want to take away. Be like, oh, the competition, the level of competition.
Mhm.
I would say because where do you have? Where's your list up there? Because my list is a little different, maybe a little different from yours. Because of course I have the Warriors number one. But as far as finals teams, I would say they're like top 6, 7, or they're in the top 10 for me. I feel like. What about you?
Yeah, I would probably put them in the top 10.
Yeah.
And now I have the luxury of being a little older.
Mm-hmm.
I know. So,
Yeah.
and I saw some teams, play like, the 86 Celtics who were just crazy dominant. And the Showtime Lakers, the Bad Boy Pistons, the Bulls, when they did their double three-peats. Excuse me. So, I had the luxury of seeing all those teams too.
Yeah.
But I was, and one thing that was kind of a common bond with some of those older teams compared to what I saw this year.
Yeah.
The defense.
Mhm.
Defense was lights out. And when you factor in that the state of the NBA, which we'll talk about shortly, this game sort of emphasizes more offense,
Right.
and people dropping 130, 140 points a game.
Mhm.
But the Thunder, they played lights out defensively. So
Yeah,
I
they
got to give
did.
them credit. And given the era that they're playing in, and considering all the rules and stuff, and given that they were still able to play some pretty solid defense, I would put them up there pretty high. So
Yeah.
top 10. I don't have a number for them just because again we got to compare that to the Celtics and
You gotta really
Bulls
go
and
down
Pistons and
there.
stuff like that.
It's a list, man. Yeah. I definitely say that. I would pose this question to you.
Okay.
Which version of the Thunder are better? This current team or the KD, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, that Thunder young gun team? Which one do you think is better?
I would say the one that had the championship.
I mean, but like
to be fair though,
Okay,
and
you
when we
know.
think about how that squad couldn't get a championship, they also played when Steph was in his prime,
Mhm.
Bron was in his prime.
They were
KD was in his
against some
prime.
tough competition, man. Like I wouldn't put like that's why I mean I'm not trying to put it like say the Pacers like oh they're not really good competition, but that's why I was like yeah man that if they had to face this Thunder team had to face the Steph Warriors in the prime or the even the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron and Kyrie in them, I don't know how it would fare. I do think they do have really good defense, but hey, they say that matchups are. I mean, the playoffs and the finals are just matchup dependent and luck dependent and injury and who's the healthiest team. So you never know what could happen. But I don't know, man. I just have it in my heart. Maybe I'm a nostalgia guy. I'll be that old head now. But they used to say we're doing the '90s. We're doing the 2010s. I'll say that Thunder team, man. That with Russ and Kevin Durant and James Harden, that team was just too young, too good, too fast, man. That's what KD said. They were way too good, too fast. I have to give it to them. I like the Thunder team, but yeah, man, they were nice, man. The KD Thunder were nice.
I'm actually surprised though that they didn't really have a chance to develop
Mhm.
and to turn into a championship team because
Yeah,
it seemed like they had a couple of good runs in the end. They couldn't get over the Golden State hump in the
Yeah.
end. They broke up.
Well, that's what I was alluding to when he says too young. Kevin Durant kind of talked about that in one of his podcast, or not his podcast, but one of the podcasts he was on. He was saying, man, that Thunder team, it was mind the game with LeBron and Steve Nash. He was saying that Thunder team, we were really too good, too young. Like he said that he was 21, averaging 30, and Russ was I think 22, and James Harden was still young as well. And he even said Sam Presti, the owner, or not the owner, the GM, current GM now, he was only 30 years old. Still young, relatively. But he was basically saying they were too young, and they really didn't really know how to, I guess, form a team and really get egos out the way and really try to figure out a way to go and win it. But like I say, I feel like it's competition. I feel like he just said, man, the league was just too good like at the time. But yeah, it is surprising though that they couldn't win it though.
Yeah, and honestly, age is not really that big of a deal because this
Yeah,
Thunder team, statistically speaking, is the youngest team in the league, right?
yeah,
Or
one of the
one of
youngest teams. Yeah,
yeah. So youth kind of factors in, but youth plus development plus continuity.
that's why I said it's crap. I was like, no, man, it's crap. There's no way he's just saying it. But yeah, I think that team just kind of ran against tough talent. I mean, the Spurs were still even good at that time as well. Like we always talk about the Warriors, like they were good. They were number one team in the West, but Spurs got right behind them. They
Yeah,
were really good
yeah.
back then. So
And now Houston's making some moves, and hang tight too because for the next episode we're going to be talking about some of the NBA trades. As they're still going down. So, but I was saying that to segue into the fact that now the KD is over with Houston, that could kind of create a power dynamic too. So it'll be which leads me to my next question, Will.
mhm.
So with everything happening with all the trades that
Yeah,
again we'll talk about later, and everything that you saw in the finals, do you see OKC repeating?
no, absolutely not. I think that this, like we're gonna get into the next video, the trades and the new CBA, all different stuff like that. It doesn't allow dynasties or allow like it literally allows parity.
Thank God.
Oh man, I can't wait to get in that next video,
Dynasties
guys.
suck, man. Unless it's the Pistons or whatever, but dynasties suck.
Yeah, I hear you. But it's not your team. Yeah, they do actually suck. But yeah, I just think that the league is getting too better. I think that the West is, oh my god, and we're gonna get into the next video, but the West
The Wild Wild
is
West.
is getting crazy.
Wild Wild West.
Yeah, and if I'm any owner, I'm looking at any owner in the West. I'm looking like, man, maybe I can move my team somewhere closer to the East so we can try to do something because the East looks compared to I know it's always been like weaker, but compared to the West, man, the East looks like a JV team or JV league or
Yeah.
a high school league compared to the West. But yeah, the West is just getting to it way too better. I think they have a chance because the thing is they're a chance. We gotta respect that, but I don't see them repeating. What do you think?
I actually kind of do. And in part because they got a real young nucleus.
Yeah.
Uh, they'll be bringing back a lot of the same talent. I think they lost a couple, or they lost a person or two during free agency. I think I'll have to go check for sure. But
Yeah.
all their pieces are pretty much still intact.
Mhm.
And even though the West is starting to make some moves, they're playing move some chess pieces around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like what they were doing this year, and as long as
Yeah.
they can keep it consistent, SGA is playing lights out,
Yeah.
and again, defense is a real emphasis for this team, and I think that whatever other teams the West are trying to put together, the Thunder are still equipped to to defend just about anybody, and
Yeah.
then plus the East is in a free for all, so whoever makes it to the finals next year is pretty much
Yeah,
probably
that's an
going
easy
from
win.
the West is pretty,
Next year's
pretty much going to win it all, I think. Um, and then uh, so yeah, I think that whoever can make it out of the West is going to win, and I think that the Thunder are just going to just keep the train rolling. As much as I hate to admit it, because again I hate dynasties, and I'm
Yeah.
liking the idea that there's more parity in the NBA. I could see them repeating. Now,
Yeah.
even though I saw a crazy stat, I think the last 6 champions or the last 7 champions
Yeah.
are one time. I mean, or no, they how was it? So we had a different champ every year
Every year.
for the last 7 years,
7
which
years,
is
yeah.
insane to me.
It's been crazy.
But I think they have the ability to break that streak and go for a repeat.
I can see it. Do you think that I was gonna have a question. Do you think that that Shea, like, because he's I don't see him going higher than this. That's why I'm like, I don't know if they could go up there and try to win because this was a really good season for Shea.
Yeah.
And it's a really good player, but I just don't think there's any higher than this.
it is kind of hard to top what
Yeah.
winning the scoring title, the league. I mean, the season MVP. I mean,
Yeah.
like this dude won everything.
He won he won everything. Yeah, he won everything. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the next season, seeing what's happening. Because, like you said, whoever, and we're saying that like, oh yeah, like it's an easy. That's it. Whoever going with the West, that's a guaranteed win. Clip us, because we might be might be false. The Pistons might win it. You never know. Or the Atlanta Hawks.
I mean, I wouldn't bet on the Pistons winning. Get it? You see what I did there? Malik. That was coming.
Yeah, that's coming.
Malik, man, what the hell, dude?
Oh my god, I was getting nasty.
So Malik, I got a theory, bro. I think that you were probably betting on your own games, which is why you disappeared against the Knicks.
Oh,
bro,
that's crazy. Hey, we're gonna get into a lot of that stuff soon.
Anyway, shout out to the Thunder once again, and shout out to the Pacers for giving us a good, entertaining series. Going 7 games really did wonders for the league, I think. And so shout out to both of y'all, which actually leads me to our next point. We want to also discuss the current state of the NBA. Now, we had a good season for the most part, and we had an excellent playoff series, I think, for the most part.
Yeah.
And then the finals were outstanding. But overall, we also want to discuss the overall state of the NBA. Yeah. So, want to start, or should I?
Oh man, this is gonna be a long one because I've been itching for this video. I'll have you start. I'll have you started off. I started off the last one. I'll have you started off.
All right, cool. So first off, I think the NBA is still is in good shape. Mm-hmm. They could be better now. Yeah. Again, I think the finals were outstanding. The playoffs were excellent. I hate the fact that that TNT is moving to ESPN.
That sucks, man. Yeah,
that thing just kind of irks me, and it just upsets my spirit.
Are you excited for it to go to? Is it NBA or what is it? NBC?
Oh man, no.
I mean,
like Kenny, Shaq, Chuck, and Ernie, they just belong with TNT, man. Like,
yeah, they belong with TNT.
And no Kevin Harlan. Like, is Kevin Harlan going over too?
Yeah, I don't know where Kevin Harlan is actually going. I don't know if he might be going with somewhere else, but I think he's gonna still be somewhere. I think Amazon or the Amazon crew. I think he's going with, because isn't that the one with Jordan and?
No, Jordan is going to NBC.
NBC, yeah. I think he might be going with the Amazon crew. He might be. That's the one with Blake Griffin, I think, and somebody else.
All these streaming services, though, and that's another thing. I'm going to discuss that in a second. But
yeah.
So I'm digressing here, but I think the NBA is still dealing with a few issues.
Yeah.
Now, one issue that we were just talking about is the accessibility.
Yes.
Because before we were just on basic cable. He was like on NBC, ESPN, TNT, but with the proliferation of all these other streaming services, it's kind of hard to watch games now.
Very
hard.
League
Pass, and you got to go to Amazon now. So there are all these different. I mean, it's
or if bootleg.
Now bootleg, holla at your boy. My Fire Stick is right over there. So holla at your boy.
Oh man.
So the inaccessibility of games is one issue. Like the viewing habits of fans is something they should be taken into account. And then it's getting to the point where even viewing games cost more than going to the games.
Yeah, I hear you. I actually agree with you with that, because I mean, I know for me personally, like I usually do League Pass. Sometimes it depends on what the Warriors are doing, but because if they are not doing nothing, I don't even try. But I've done the League Pass, and it can get pretty expensive sometimes. Because I mean, it's different packages, of course, like having the yearly package, or just the every 3 months. But I can say that most of if you're not the Warriors or the Lakers, New York Knicks or Boston Celtics, it's hard to really watch those games, because even though I had League Pass, like most of them were on the national stage or TNT, but the rest of the teams, you got to get League Pass, because you're not going to see the Charlotte Hornets versus the Wizards like on prime time or even NBA TV. So I really agree with that accessibility point because it's it. I don't know if I don't remember what it was back in the day when you were watching, but it definitely feels like it's a lot more things you have to buy. Like I know with the New York Knicks, you have to buy like something called like Gotham thing or Gotham, some kind of streaming service with Gotham. It's kind of like Bally Sports for all the Michiganders. But they have you get to buy that to even watch some of their games. So it's I don't know. They're just money hungry for real to me. A lot of money going
And then
on.
the irony is that you couldn't even watch a lot of Thunder games this year,
Mhm.
and they want to become the eventual champs. Now,
Yeah.
they started making more of a national or having more of a national profile. Once their records started to build up more
Yeah.
and more, and they started becoming more must see TV. But
Mhm.
at the beginning of the season, bro, you couldn't even find them. I
Because
mean,
I'm
and
wondering, do they even have a Christmas game this year?
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
they didn't. I don't think the Thunder had a Christmas game this year. So I mean, they were the number one seed last year. So I like it. It's crazy that it's taking. It's probably going to take this, and I don't even think they'll probably have it next year. They might. They might, but I don't know. It's crazy that it takes this for them to win a championship for them to actually even be on the national TV games or
True,
Christmas games.
true.
That sucks. But that's one of the problems with the NBA right now, man.
So that's one issue is the visibility. Now, when it comes to the on the court product, I think that leaves some room for desire too,
Hmm.
because the league for as athletic as their players are, um, there's just way too much emphasis on threes and you know, like high screens, three
Hmm.
pointers, layups,
Yeah.
and there's sort of a de-emphasis of on skill roles like the mid range and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And you got some cats out there
And he's
that could be deadly.
Shay.
Shay,
He was doing that a lot in the
Ant
finals.
Man. Like you got some dudes that could like be some assassins. Like and when I think of mid range dudes, I think of like
Hmm.
MJ, Sean Livingston.
Yeah.
Uh, oh my God,
I swear, I'm gonna be real
that
with you.
dude.
Have you looked at the stats of like he's never missed a mid range almost?
Okay, one that was a meme.
I'm just no, Andre. I swear. I watched the Warriors, man. That fool never. I've every single time he touched the ball and got to the mid range. Oh my God, I miss Sean Livingston. He
Now he was an
never
assassin though.
missed. Oh my God, he never
Now he
missed.
wasn't flawless like this dude. We can just go look up the stats.
Jesus.
But but people like and back in my day, Rip Hamilton.
Yeah, Rip Hamilton.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my God, the mid range was like what kept the game, like moving.
Yeah, kept
And
moving. Yeah.
now everybody chucking up threes. Like I mean, and Steph Curry, God love him, got the dude led the way, but he just everybody can't be Steph.
Everybody can't be Steph. Nah. Yeah, it's a lot of. I think it's a lot of analytic ball.
Yep,
Like it's not simple math. Like what's
3 points is more than
3
two.
points more than two. Yeah, and then it's like you love the guys like Shea, you love the guys like KD, Kawhi, all those different guys. DeMar DeRozan, you love those guys. But I mean, like in the playoffs, man, I'm telling you right now, when they hit, I mean, it's nice when they hit the twos when Kevin Durant does a fall away or he's turning around and do a signature jump shot. But they're just tough too. They're just tough layups to me. So um, a lot of the times, like you're just thinking, like, oh, yeah, I feel like you just go out and take a three, and when those threes happen in the playoffs, especially when it's like a grind in the game, they're backbreakers. They can be backbreakers, especially if you have back to back. But yeah, I feel like it's a lot of analytic ball into
Yeah,
why the reason why a lot of teams are almost because I hate when people say that every team kind of like looks the same just because they're shooting a lot of threes. I do think that they do use like I said analytics, the same analytics, but I think it's they integrated their own offense, but um it's definitely a lot of it's three heavy, but I think it's definitely it's more offense. I feel like than just like than I'm just gonna take a three. I will say I'll see some young players like on Utah Jazz like going to, and that's Steph. I will say that's an effective Steph. They're on a fast break and they have like a clear lane for the layup,
A 3-0.
and you just take a three. Like I'm just like, wait, what are you doing? Go for the two.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely. I will definitely say it's a lot of analytic ball. I feel like that goes into that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And then there's also arguably a lack of physicality. Now,
Mm-hmm.
that also is probably why the NBA is trying to cut down on injuries, which we'll talk about in a second too.
Yes.
But there is also a general lack of physicality. Like you can barely hand check now. You can,
Yeah.
LeBron has created this this like flop university,
Mhm.
so you can't even like breathe on somebody without getting hit with a foul. But a lack of physicality is kind of problematic. But again, I think it's to address the issue of injuries.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely this because I was gonna really get right into it. The injuries, like it seems like it's been a lot this year. I would say it last year it felt like a lot of people were missing, but this year it was like crazy. Like I forgot. And that's another thing. This has been a long year. This
Yep.
has really been a long year. I feel like it's been like 3 seasons into one. I don't know. Sorry, I just went on a tangent. It was just, I feel like I've been like just watching basketball all season. No, don't do it. No. But I would say the total player with games lost. It's been like 6,489 players lost this year, and then it's increased from the prior season 35 to 40% from prior seasons.
Dang.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Like Achilles tears, 7 major cases, including 3 in the playoffs. I would say stars that are heavily affected: Embiid, Irving, Kyrie Irving, Wemby, Lillard, Tatum, Halliburton, Paul George, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard. The list goes on. The injuries have been up this year. Now, do you think? Now, let's here's my question. Do you think that it's been because of the grueling schedule of the NBA, being in 82 games and those like back-to-back games when you're going to like Utah to all the way across the other side of going to Charlotte or whatever in one night or back-to-back nights? Like, do you think it's because of the amount of games and all those back-to-backs?
Okay, yeah, that's a fair question. So I'm gonna say yeah, and now I know a lot of your old school, like pound and grind NBA fans will say, well, Michael Jordan never missed 82 games, and you're right. Back in the day, there was no such thing as low management. I'll
No.
give you that, but I
Yeah.
think that today's game is a lot more high impact.
A lot of players too. To the point, a lot of players they're developed more. Like it's a lot of like stronger, like longer guys, and they're more physical. Like it's like 6'7" dudes that are guards now, rather than it'd be 6'2", 6'3". Like it's 6'7" dudes that are guards, so you have to do a lot more, and they're fast and athletic.
Yeah.
So you got to do a lot more. You have to use a lot more athleticism to get past those guys,
Yeah.
or to move past those guys. So like it's the physicality as well. I feel like.
Now, don't get me wrong. Like back in the day, there was a certain element of physicality that was in the game too, but it was mostly just in the post and going for boards and stuff like that. Not
Mhm.
not the actual not the high impact intensity and the speed and the fervor which the game was
Mhm.
played. The game is played today.
Yeah, you're
So it's a lot
Mhm.
faster. It's a lot more demanding on the body.
you're doing that every night. You're doing almost doing it every night. Like a lot of guys are. Yeah, you got younger guys, but it's a lot of older players, a lot of older stars, and they're going through that every single night, having to deal with that. And this is why I said the game should be regular season should be cut down. But no one wants to agree with me on that.
Okay, now I don't agree with that though because okay, so SGA just
Mhm.
signed a contract.
Yeah.
That's giving him $71 million a year.
Yeah.
$71 million a year.
Yeah.
MJ didn't even make $71 million over the course of his whole career, I don't think. I mean,
Yeah.
so bro, if you're gonna be making that kind of money, you need to get your ass out on the court.
I agree
But
with you.
I do agree that there's that the NBA needs to do something, maybe eliminating some of the back to back games, giving them a little more time between games to recuperate and stuff. But when you're making that much money, you need to be out there.
Yeah, I agree with you. Do you think? Yeah, because it's like when we think about NBA money, man, like it's so crazy what these guys get. I mean, even the rookies, they get a handsome amount of money. Like I would want a rookie deal. I wouldn't care. But yeah, you have a good point with it. It's just like, hey, man, you get out there and play. But does that with that point? Does that kind of like hurt the product of the NBA? Because like it kind of leads into those injuries, like leads to those guys getting injured. Like we were gonna have a really good game seven, like set up to be a good game seven, but Tyrese Halliburton got injured. So now that kind of affects the product, and that's why guys would be like, "Man, the NBA is so whack now. Or, oh my god, it's boring and this and that. It's not like it used to be because of
That's
it.
right.
Because of it, you're playing those high intense games, and most of the players are playing almost every game,
Yeah, that's fair.
and it kind of leads into it hurting the product. I feel
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
like I'm not saying cut the season down to like 40 games or cut it dramatically. I think that 60 is a good number. 60 to 70 is a good number.
60 games.
60 to 70 is a good number. I think it's a really good number because what that does is for the casual viewer, because
Where's that button again?
no, Andre. What that does for the casual viewers, because that's what they're trying to appeal to. It's not the me and you. We're not just a word. It's not the NBA fan. It's the just. I'm just going to watch. I'm just what's on right now. I'm just watching the game. It helps the casual fan follow those games. Like it's so to me, it's so much easier to follow football. I'm not going to say I'm like a crazy football fan or I'm a football head. I know everything, but it's so easy to follow them because it's shortened season, and
Yeah.
and then when it gets to the playoffs, everybody watches the playoffs. They ramp up to come up playoffs. You'll already be knowing what's going on and knowing you won't be surprised. Man, I didn't know Andrew Nembhard was this good of a player on the Pacers. I didn't know this. I didn't know that. You'll have those 60 games and it'll be more impactful. The regular season will be more impactful too as well. I feel like players will try harder. I feel that less injuries too as well. So
And honestly, that idea is not that unheard of because
mhm.
because the NBA did make some adjustments to the number of games they played during the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, like back in the '80s, like the early '80s, I think, and like the late '70s, early '80s,
Mm-hmm.
the first round was 3 games,
Yeah, I think they should go back to that. That's another
best
point.
out of three.
Another
In
point.
the end, then it moved up to like the best out of five
Mhm.
for years before they went to best out of seven.
Mhm.
I mean, and I said that wrong. So the first round was usually shortened, but then the next few rounds got a little longer. But
Yeah.
they made some adjustments to the number of games that were in the playoffs. So
Right.
it's not unheard of for them to consider that.
Yeah.
Um, uh, but yeah, I mean, so you have to factor in that you got 82 games of
Mhm.
players running, sprinting, pivoting, jumping, doing all this other
Like
stuff. This
moving left to
physical
right
stuff.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, so at some point you do have to figure out a way to protect your players a little bit more
Mhm.
so that they don't have Jason Tatum type injuries or
Yeah.
Halliburton type
Or
injuries
Dame
in the
Lillard.
middle of
Yeah.
the playoffs. So
Yeah.
I'll give you that. I think 60 might be a little bit of a stretch given that they already low manage anyway. Um,
Well, do you think they will lose manage if it is cut down to 60? Because now it's like I'm not really like I don't have to. I think about the players of just like all right, like I don't gotta miss a Wednesday game playing the Utah Jazz. Like I can play this game and I wouldn't say that would go off, but that I can still show up for the average fan that's coming to see me, little Timmy, is coming to see me.
yeah,
So I feel like that would kind of help that or benefit that. So no more load management. And there'll still be guys. I won't say that it will like it's never gonna be that, but I feel like with it being so short and it will help out with players coming, like players just go entering the game and not low managing less. And less injuries too as well. 'Cause they don't want that.
I mean, maybe, but if you but if you reduce the season to 60 games, then that just means that instead of 40 games, Joel Embiid is only going to go play 15 that season. But
Whoa!
tell me I'm lying.
Man, I wish there was a button on here where I could be like, D.
Like that dude just got hurt
Yeah.
again. Before the time that it took us to finish this video. So
Yeah. I think it's shams between it right now.
trust the
Yeah.
process.
Oh my god. Oh man.
But overall, so like given all that, and given the ratings, the viewership, the game, the on court game quality,
Mhm.
the injury situation, I think the NBA is in a good spot. They could
spot.
be in a better spot.
Mhm.
But they made what $11 billion,
And they just signed a
So
contract. Yeah. New
they,
contract.
so they're doing all right.
They're doing all right. Yeah.
I'm still in my feelings, man, about like losing the TNT crew though, because TNT was never mind. I'm not gonna tell you.
Let me take off Andre's rose-colored glasses about the TNT crew. Yes, they had their good moments, but when I remember this moment, it was Shaq talking about the Pistons. Because first it was a clip of the Pistons, and he's like, "Oh, I don't watch Pistons. I don't care nothing about Pistons." Then there's another clip of him on TNT where he's like, "Yeah, I love the Pistons. I love this guy talking about Beef Stew. I love Isaiah Stewart. He reminds me of a lot of me, and they're casuals. What I'm trying to say, they're casuals. I feel like they're casuals of the game. A lot of them hate on the new players. A lot of Shaq will be like, you got to prove it more. Donovan Mitchell got to prove it more. You got to, or Chuck will be like, I just I don't really like LeBron because of this and that. I'm just like, no, they're just casuals on there. They're casuals of the game. They're casuals of the game, and I'm nice to see them. They have their moments. They're in nostalgia. They have their funny moments, but they're just like it's just like almost like barber shop. Like they're casuals, man.
I know, right? But okay, so but then but ESPN is like starting to get to shift more into bringing more athletes on, and the less journalists, which debatable.
Mm-hmm.
But bro, where else are you gonna find Charles Barkley ranting for 15 minutes about the Phoenix Suns, or making fun of fat women in San Antonio? Man, come on, man.
You're not
ESPN.
You're not gonna find that, but man, I like their halftime stuff, but it's like, all right, we get it, y'all. Can we kind of break down the game a little bit more? Like,
It's sacrilege, man.
I'm just saying, man. Like, I had to take out the rose-colored glasses because, man, they're casuals, man. They're really casuals.
One of those YouTube videos I was watching, some commenter was like, it was nice of them to put on a game during Inside the NBA.
Yeah,
because it's true. Because nobody watch for the games no more.
Nobody does. They don't. Like, I don't even know
what audience, bro.
I get it, but I don't know.
Now we got to listen to Mike Breen, overrated, and Doris.
Ooh,
yes, I said it. Give me Kevin Harlan every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
No more Doris. We're Doris haters.
No more Richard Jefferson.
And no more washed up Mike Breen. Okay, I'm done. Let me stop. He it's a lot of sound bites. He got a step.
I'm sorry, Breen is a one trick pony, dude. Bang, bang, bang. Come on, bro.
Andre, you can't say that about Mike Breen. Don't.
Give me Kevin Harlan every day of the week.
Kevin Harlan is way he like good. Yeah.
Got it. Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah. Sorry for the headphone users.
Anyway. So we're all over the place right now. So we're gonna just cut this one short. But once again, shout out to both OKC and Indiana. Shout out to the NBA for a great season. And we look forward to continuing discussing more things NBA at the beginning of next season.
Yes, sir.
Well, you got any closing thoughts?
Like Nicole said, shout out to the OKC Thunder. Congratulations on winning the championship. I don't know if you're gonna win next year, but we'll see. And then shout out to the Pacers.
They're gonna
win. Shout out to the Pacers for making it this far. I know it can be. The next season looks really bleak right now, but you're a young team, and the East is it's not as crazy as the West. I think they can make it there. Maybe next time they'll make it there again. But shout out to the Indiana Pacers. And
Go Pistons.
yeah, go Warriors and Pistons. Yeah. But yeah, guys, make sure you subscribe and like.
Warriors Pistons final next year.
Maybe.
Let's get it.
I'll be nasty. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta get Steph that fifth ring. I want to see Steph win that fifth ring. But yeah. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to this video. That's all I got, man.
Cool. All right. So until next time, this your boy Dre,
It's your boy Will.
and this is
Where there's a will,
There's a Dre.
all right. Boom.
Peace out.
Peace out.